Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the True Weeb, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why Satoru Gojo allowed himself to be killed by Ryomen Sukuna. This theory was made by Shadow King, and I'll expand in this theory today and break down everything that we know. And if you skip through this whole video, Sukuna will kill your whole family, so make sure you stay until the end so you guys don't miss any information. And leave a like because it's the best way you can support me, and let me know what you guys think down below, and let's go. Now, as we all know, by now Satoru Gojo has been killed by Ryomen Sukuna in chapter 236. Many people believe that this is the end for Satoru Gojo, but I'm going to explain why that is not true. This is going to be how Gojo planned his own defeat. During the battle between Ryomen Sukuna and Gojo, Kasukabe stated that Sukuna was only left without Maharaga and he can't heal rapidly because of the amount of damage he took from Gojo, so technically speaking, in chapter 235, Gojo actually won. But he didn't win against Ryomen Sukuna, he won against the 10 Shadows technique because he technically got rid of Maharaga. In chapter 236, we saw that the chapter starts off with a flashback, and after that flashback, we eventually saw that Gojo was split into half, and Sukuna explained that he learned this ability because of Maharaga to cut space itself, so Gojo Infinity would be falling victim to Sukuna's new ability. Even though Gojo was supposedly killed when Kashimo instantly went into the battlefield, he was left with no choice but to go in his Heian Aram form because he was too weak and because of the damage he took from Gojo previously. Gojo's goal was to destroy the 10 Shadows technique and Maharaga so Yuji will be able to fight Sukuna head on. Since he could only be resistant to Sukuna's curse technique, there is no way on this planet Yuji would be facing up against Maharaga, so Gojo's goal was to completely take rid of that 10 Shadows technique. Gojo's goal was never to defeat Sukuna, even though he said he will win. We can confirm this because Gojo said Sukuna would probably still beat him because Sukuna wasn't going all out, but I think Gojo was just giving Sukuna way too much credit right here. Gojo's plan was to make Megumi body as weak as possible, and in that process he could potentially kill Sukuna. But even though Sukuna is the biggest menace in Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo knows that he can't kill Sukuna because he is in Megumi's body. So Gojo wanted to bring Megumi's body close to a near dead state, like how Yuji was at when he was at the detention center. So let's talk about the reason why Gojo got split in half. So a lot of you guys might ask, why did Satoru Gojo allow himself to be split in half by Sukuna? Well, here is a simple explanation. Satoru Gojo has the sixth eye, and the sixth eye grants Gojo the power to see every flow of cursed energy, every single bit of it. So unless Sukuna's space slash isn't cursed energy, Gojo should be able to see this attack coming because of his sixth eye ability. Gojo could have easily avoided this by teleporting unless he underestimated Sukuna's slash, and this is really not likely because Gojo knows that Sukuna is one of the only few persons that can actually hurt him. So Gojo would never underestimate 19 finger Sukuna because even though Gojo calls himself the strongest, he knows who is a threat and who is not. The fact that they were both using domain expansions multiple times, I believe they used it over 6 times, which is very impossible for a lot of other sorcerers. Most can only use domains only one time. The fact that they were going at domain expansions multiple times definitely prove that Gojo did not underestimate Sukuna. So Gojo definitely could see this slash.
When Sukuna used
Space Slash against Gojo for the first time, Gojo realized that this is nothing to underestimate, which is why he dodged it and definitely realized that he would use Maharaga to adapt to his infinity because he knows that Maharaga has the ability to adapt to any phenomenon. So because Gojo has a plan to save Megumi, Gojo made Sukuna kill him. And we can see that Gojo had a plan to save Megumi because he mentioned Megumi when he was fighting Sukuna. And when Gojo was slashed in half, we can see two panels of Gojo's face, and if you take a closer look on the second panel, we can see that Gojo is using reverse curse technique to obviously heal himself, as we can clearly see. And on top of that fact, in chapter 240, we have two persons already confirming that Gojo will die before he actually died. And this is Kenji Hakari and Yuta. And the specific line that confirmed this is that when they said, if Gojo died. And the fact that they said if Gojo died meant that they had a plan B. So there are two obvious answers here. It's either Gojo planned his death or Yuta and Hakari are both frauds and didn't believe in Gojo in the first place. I'm pretty sure it's not the second option, so Gojo planned his death and is working behind the scenes. Now let's talk about Gojo's foreshadowing to kill Kenjaku. And I know that Gojo was not the one to kill Kenjaku, it was Yuta Okatsu, but let's talk about it because we are not sure if Kenjaku is actually dead right now. Before the battle between Gojo and Sukuna started, his goal was to kill Kenjaku, and we know that Gojo always lives up to his promises because, for example, when Gojo told Hanami he was going to kill her first, but then he started to fight Jogo, Hanami thought it was just to get her afraid. But as soon as Hanami lifted that domain amplification, Gojo did what he said he would do. Hanami completely dropped her guard and she paid the price, so Gojo dying right now is making Kenjaku drop his guard by making everyone think that he's dead, but Gojo will be back to finish what he started. And that's originally to fight Kenjaku, and the battle between Gojo and Kenjaku might potentially happen. But I know I might be contradicting myself, but as we saw in chapter 244, Kenjaku did get defeated by Yuta Okatsu during his fight with Takaba, and it seems like Yuta was planning this all along, as they did confirm it themselves. So we know that Geto Body is 100% dead because it's decapitated, but what we don't know is that is Kenjaku truly dead himself, or is he still alive looking for another body to go into? There are theories right now saying that Kenjaku might actually use a domain expansion while he's decapitated and everything will just start back from square one and he's still in Geto's body, and thus this theory could be actually correct. Kenjaku is a brain-looking organism, so to completely destroy Kenjaku, I believe he might need to completely obliterate Kenjaku at the time of his death so he won't be able to even switch bodies. Kenjaku is estimately around 1000 years old and he has been planning the merger all this time, so he actually can't afford for anyone to interfere at all. And Kenjaku is smart, so he definitely had a backup plan if Gojo won. So even though Kenjaku seems to be dead right now, we should be expecting something more from Kenjaku. Regarding to Megumi, Gojo knows that Megumi is still somewhere inside of Sukuna and knows that if he kills Sukuna, Megumi would surely be dead afterwards. So Gojo took the risk of making himself seem dead so he could save Megumi Fushiguro. Gojo is someone that will take the risk if he knows that he can overcome the situation, and we already saw him do something like this in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. He was ready to put his life on the line to protect Yuta Okatsu, and with the same thing with Yuji Itadori. Even in the hidden inventory arc, Gojo focused all of his reverse curse technique so he didn't die at the moment, which is why Gojo is still alive up to this day. In theory, Gojo could have, given up fighting like what he did with Toji and focused all of his reverse curse energy on healing. Curse energy uses negative energy and it can fortify the body, but it can't cause regeneration. That's why it's necessary to multiply more negative energy to create positive that creates reverse reverse curse technique. So with all of this being known, Satoru Gojo definitely realized what's happening and took advantage of the situation to make it seem like he was dead. Again, his goal was not to kill Sukuna. As he said himself, he wanted to bring Sukuna to a near-death experience because he wanted to save Megumi. This is Satoru Gojo we're talking about, and he is always down to protect his students, and this includes Megumi Fushiguro. When Gojo returns, we don't know what the hell he's going to do or who he's going to fight, but he's definitely going to be there to watch over his students. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a thumbs up. It took me around 5 years to make this video, and I would definitely appreciate the support. So guys, definitely leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and with that said, I will see you all in my next video.